Hello everyone and welcome back to Coffee with Gringos, brought to you by Dynamic English. My name is Brittany, I'm your host, and this is my lovely host Jessie.
Hello. Hi guys. On today's podcast, on today's episode, we are talking all about Chilean food. So both Brittany and I live here in Chile.
Right.
How long have you been here?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. I'm going on about 9 years. So chances are I have maybe tried more of the food than you have. But Chile is an interesting place because based on the geography, we have different foods in the north as opposed to the south. And it's not so Americanized. I don't know for you, there's a lot of differences between Chilean food and what you eat in South Africa.
For sure. And also having lived with a family in Chile and going to friends' houses in Santiago, I do feel like it depends from family to family, the eating habits. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, but also, as I mentioned, from the north to the south, because we spoke before, you have been to Chile.
Yeah.
I have never been there.
Yeah.
So we have a thing here in Chile called curanto, which they dig a hole in the ground and put a bunch of meat and
they cook it on the rocks.
They cook it on the rocks, right? And then cover it with like palms.
Leaves, like palm leaves, yeah.
So how was that?
It was very meaty.
Very meaty, okay. But it's a lot of potatoes.
Potatoes, yes. And also kind of like I want to say a gravy, but it was more of like a soup, not a soup, kind of like a broth.
Okay.
If that makes sense. And it was spicy.
Nice.
Which surprised me.
See, I like spicy food.
I know. So
yeah.
So
okay. So see, that's good. But I need to get to Chile because that's, I think, one of the few Chilean dishes that I have not tried.
We definitely need to go.
So if we're starting our day off, Brittany, let's talk a little bit about Chilean breakfast.
Oh, Chilean breakfast.
What is your typical Chilean breakfast?
Honestly, most Chileans I know don't even eat breakfast.
This is true. A lot don't even eat breakfast. Okay.
But from talking to my students and obviously living with Chileans, a piece of bread, like marraqueta or ayuya.
Ayuya. Okay.
Ayuya with like a piece of cheese, maybe palta,
Yeah, or mashed up avocado. That's really popular. Yogurt, fruit. To be honest, Chilean breakfast is kind of boring.
No, not when you were colonized by England.
Well, I'm not sure what that breakfast entails, but for me, breakfast in Chile is normally a pretty basic meal of the day. Right?
That's true.
It's pretty simple. Sometimes you might mix some granola with a yogurt, but there's nothing really wow that stands out for me.
Definitely not known for their breakfast.
Yeah. I wouldn't say breakfast is the staple.
No.
Now, what is the lunch. Here in Chile, we typically have a big lunch.
Yeah, it's the biggest meal of the day,
it's
right?
Sometimes huge.
Exactly.
And you have to go take a nap afterwards because you ate so much.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about some of those lunch plates, what's some of your favorites? What have you tried?
Cazuela with
really
chicken or beef, porotos a la rienda. I hope I'm saying that correctly. What's wrong?
I think it's porotos con riendas.
Something like that.
Which literally translates to beans with reins, like from a horse. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically beans, spaghetti noodles, and little pieces of hot dog.
Yeah, like
not my favorite. Not my favorite. But okay, it is a really popular lunchtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else? I mean, I think we could go on and on about the different traditional Chilean foods that are eaten for lunch, right?
Yeah, but like pastel de choclo.
Oh.
Have you tried that? Okay. So that's like a corn, basically it's kind of like a corn cake, but it has olive, an egg, and normally chicken inside of it.
And minced beef.
Sometimes, yeah. And then do you put sugar on top of your pastel de choclo?
I've had it, but the ones without meat, apparently that's where you put sugar on.
No, I put sugar on all of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or tomatoes.
Oh yeah.
You can put tomatoes on.
That's good.
Okay. Speaking of corn, what about humitas?
Love humitas. For me, it's kind of similar to almost like sweet corn. Do you have sweet corn, like mashed sweet corn?
In the United States, we have cornbread.
Oh, right.
So
So it's kind of similar.
it's kind of similar, but we actually bake it into a bread.
Yeah.
And here it's just kind of left as a mash.
I love it.
For those of you outside of Chile, humita is very similar to a Mexican tamale, except instead of meat, we use corn. But the idea, the concept is the same.
Mm-hmm.
They're wrapped in corn husks and then boiled.
Yeah.
So same idea as a tamale.
Yeah.
You mentioned the cazuela.
Cazuela, right.
Yeah, we have something very similar in the United States. It's actually a Mexican dish, and it's called caldo de res.
Okay.
And it's basically the same thing. It's basically a cazuela.
Is it like a little bit spicier?
No.
Not
It's
even.
basically the same recipe. I think the only difference is that here, if you notice, we use a lot of zucchini or zapallo.
Yeah.
And in a cazuela here, there's usually a big piece of zapallo or zucchini. And in Mexico, no.
Not.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, altogether,
interesting.
pretty good.
And what do you think about the different Chilean salads? Because I feel like they're quite diverse with the salads.
They can be. You know, my favorite is just the basic. It's very simple. It's called ensalada chilena.
Me encanta.
It's just tomatoes, onions, and some lemon juice, I think. Like, that's it. But
it's fantastic.
It is pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't eat a lot of other salads. And one reason that I don't eat a lot of salads here is because a lot of salads come with palmitos. Palmitos?
Yeah, I'm familiar with palmitos.
So, what palm
like
hearts?
Palm hearts? We don't have them in South Africa, so.
Yeah, I mean, we have them, but for me, I don't like the texture.
No, it's
a very strange texture for me. So if I see a salad and it's covered in palmitos, I'm like, it's probably not for me.
Have you seen that you get like palmito or palmita?
I know, palmitos.
Okay,
yeah.
You get palmita pasta, like pasta made from palmitas now.
No, I've never seen that.
I need to try it.
I don't know, because if the texture is anything like the actual vegetable, then
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt, but just a reminder that this is not only a podcast. We work for Dynamic English, an English institute with over 100 native English teachers.
We offer flexible schedules for both individual or group courses, and all from the convenience of your home online or in person. But really, you can take classes with us from anywhere in the world.
Basically. And don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
And for more information on courses, dynamicenglish.cl.
Should we get back to the podcast?
But I will say for salads, like, you know, it's interesting to me that you say salads, because have you been to a restaurant here and you order sort of we call that a colación, or the group. And they'll say, oh, you have your main plate, your coffee, your tea, your little salad, and maybe like a soup to begin with.
Right.
And then they bring you a salad, and it's one vegetable on a plate. You're like, is that a salad or is that just a vegetable?
Because
it's just literally a tomato cut up.
Yeah.
Ensalada, señor. Like, oh, okay. So I don't know, salads for me, because in the United States, whenever you order a salad, it's typically chef salad, Cobb salad. It's got multiple ingredients, multiple vegetables, and then of course, a dressing.
Always a dressing.
Always a dressing.
It's the same in South Africa.
Yeah.
But I feel like here, the salads are almost like separated. My boyfriend thinks it's sacrilege to put tomato in the same bowl as lettuce.
No.
I'm like, but why, guys? Why?
But you should put the tomato, the lettuce, the pepper, the cucumber, all of that.
Maybe some feta cheese. Do you do the feta cheese thing in the USA?
I'm actually allergic to feta cheese. Yeah, I know. I love Greek food, but I can't.
Terrible.
I can't do feta. Yeah, that's not a good result, me and feta. But I understand. So
put everything together and like it's a massive bowl. But here things are like separate. Like, for example, there are the tomatoes with the onion and the avocado. Yeah. Then you just have like the lettuce here. I don't know if you've noticed that, like going to a Chilean person's house.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've been served a plate of shredded lettuce with some lemon juice
Yes.
on top and said,
There's your salad.
here's your salad. I'm like, okay. So I think our definition of what you and I probably think about of a salad
Right.
is a little more produced
Yes,
than
exactly.
here in Chile.
But I'm not going to lie, I actually really like it. Whenever I go to a friend's house and I eat their salads, I'm just like, that was super refreshing. I love it.
Look, and there is something about the simplicity of it, because it's like, okay, you're still getting your vegetables, but it's just maybe not so produced.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, what about sandwiches? Are you a sandwich? Because here in Chile, lunch, for a lot of people, is just some sort of sandwich. And we have a lot.
And for me, what Chileans call a sandwich is not a sandwich.
Okay. What do you mean?
It's more like a burger.
In some ways, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the things. And I'm not complaining because I like most of the sandwiches. I mean, I like every sandwich that I've tried.
Okay, so churrasco.
Churrasco italiano.
Chacarero.
That's an interesting one.
See, I think the chacarero is my favorite because it's got all the weird, it's got green beans.
Yeah.
But it's got green beans.
I know.
Who puts green beans on a sandwich?
I think that's what bothers me.
See, and that's what I initially was like, it's got green beans. I'm gonna try this. I like this.
And it's a little bit spicy, right?
And it's a little spicy.
Yeah.
It can be.
You would like that.
Yeah. What about the barros? Because there's several barros harpa, barro luca.
I like that one. It's has nothing except for cheese and meat.
Okay. I don't know the difference between the two, but I just know they're it's basically bread and meat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't eat very many of those.
Keep it simple, you know?
Yeah. If I'm going to do that, then I'm going to probably go with the chacorero.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what about the sandwich? Do you get into the ave pimenton, ave mayo, any of those sort of basic?
So the only time I've ever seen that is when you go and buy a sandwich that's pre-made, in the window of I don't know,
You haven't tried those?
I have.
Okay.
And
Impressive.
it's kind of bland.
Kind of bland. Are you kidding me? I've never tried any of those sandwiches. Ave mayo, ave pimenton, no, they're terrible. They have no flavor. It's literally 2 pieces of bread cut in a triangle. But again, there's a lot of people that will just grab and go for their lunch.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting that you say it's more like a burger, because here in Chile, we do have a lot of American style fast food.
For sure.
But I feel like those sandwiches are Chilean fast food.
100%.
You know, and that's a big part of the diet.
Yeah.
Here. I mean, how many times empanadas? We'll talk about empanadas.
Love empanadas.
But do you ever? I mean, you see people walking around and it's like, oh, what was your lunch? Oh, an empanada and a Coca-Cola.
Well, that's the thing is I feel like Chileans actually don't eat a lot. Because if lunch is your main meal and you're only eating your main meal of the day and you're only eating an empanada, that's nothing.
Yeah.
I'd be starving.
It's true. It's true. But and we'll talk about that later because we're going to talk about dinner. But if we're back on empanadas, if you have to pick one empanada, what's your Chilean go-to empanada?
Easy peasy. Okay, I would definitely choose the pino.
Pino.
Yeah.
Which is your traditional ground beef, onions.
With the olive. I don't really like the olive thing. That's weird to me. You just put one whole olive.
I don't know why they just put one olive. It's kind of a letdown.
And why don't you remove the pip, guys?
I think that's really common here.
Yeah.
To leave the seed in. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I had to pick one, and they're kind of hard to come by here in Santiago, but anytime you go to the beach, you get the camarones con queso.
Oh, that's delicious.
No, but those are a fried empanada. And,
fried empanadas are like heaven on earth.
No, any of them are fried. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Machas, locos.
I don't know about that one. In an empanada.
No? Yeah, but with cheese and fried.
Okay, with cheese maybe.
No, they're so good. All right, well, speaking of machas and locos, what kind of fish are you into? Because here in Chile, we do a lot of fish.
We do. I like the typical reineta.
Okay.
What's the other one with the?
Oh, we got merluza, reineta, salmon, a lot of tuna.
Rice. It's quite cheap here, at least in comparison to where I'm from. So and also congrio. I don't like congrio. That's
Okay.
eel in English.
I'm
right?
pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Eel.
like very fishy.
See, I like it in sushi.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I don't really eat it by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like what about in a soup? Because that's like quite common.
See, that's one of my favorite lunches. Anytime I go to the beach, we have a dish here called paella marina. Have you had that?
I've tasted, yeah.
Okay, and again, too fishy. Yeah, but it's got all of the different shellfish in it in a nice paella, which is like the terracotta pot thing. So I would say anytime I go to the beach, that's usually my go-to.
And what about like ordering, for example, when I go to the beach, I typically order like an entrada, so a starter of like different types of shellfish, so like mussels.
See, in the paella, I'll experiment, right? But if I'm going to order maybe an appetizer or the entrada, I think my favorite is the machas a la parmesana.
No, but that is delicious.
I mean, if it's a good machas a la parmesana, like you have to. Like if the restaurant serves it, like well, you have to.
Yeah,
you have to order.
That's true.
It's so good.
Agree.
So yeah, I would say that's probably my go-to when I'm at the beach.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm here in Santiago or maybe in another part, then I'm usually going meat. Meat.
Yeah.
Because we eat a lot of meat here.
We do.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like in South Africa as well, so I'm kind of used to it. But
yeah. No, I'm a big fan of the beef, chicken, not so much the pork, but
and pork is kind of big here. Like I don't know, sido.
You know, pork is really big. I don't know if you've had malaya. Do you know what that is?
To be honest, I actually don't know the names of the things I'm eating.
Okay.
Just like give it to me.
You just taking random parts of animals.
That looks good.
Yeah. No, you would know malaya. If you have malaya, it's like this. It's kind of long. It's white usually, and it's like I think the back side of the pig, but it's really chewy and it's very salty. But it's a really, really popular thing to have at barbecues here.
Maybe.
Normally they'll cut it up in little pieces and serve it around. So,
no, I don't think.
See, I'm not a big pork guy, but
yeah, it can be strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has strong flavors.
So you'll eat the beef here.
Yeah.
The beef, and a lot of our beef is actually from Brazil and Argentina, so like it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
What about the other animals that we have here in Chile? Have you tried like llama?
No.
Or sheep, like cordero?
Yes, because I don't feel like that's super uncommon in South Africa.
Yeah,
so lamb.
Yeah, you
a
have
lot. Lamb shank, lamb chops.
Okay.
For me, I have a love-hate relationship with lamb because again, like with the pork, it can have like quite a strong, almost like gamey flavor, and I don't like that. You know. I
gotcha. Okay.
But in the north, in La Serena, Valle, like around that area, they eat a lot of lamb. What is it called? Like lamb ribs, which is interesting. I've never had lamb ribs before, and it's actually on the barbecue is like really good. I like it.
So it's a rack of ribs, just like
from a lamb.
Pork ribs or any.
Or am I wrong? It's not from a lamb. It's from the grown-up one, a sheep. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the sheep, or it's not from a goat.
Oh yeah, it could be from the goat.
Or a llama.
Yeah. Oh, don't say that.
What's the difference? What's the difference between eating a llama and eating a sheep?
Because I've eaten sheep my whole life.
But you never llama.
Wait, have you
had llama? I feel like I did when I went to Peru. I feel like, no, because when I went to Peru, I remember eating guinea pig as well.
Oh,
like they eat guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
imagine it's kind of like rabbit.
It's just like rabbit.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we're talking about Chilean food today. Not Peruvian food.
Yes.
All right. So we've talked about some of our lunch, breakfast. Here in Chile, we don't really do dinner. Have you noticed that?
Have I noticed that? Absolutely.
When you get hungry at 9 p.m. and there's no dinner?
Like every time.
Yeah, like every day.
Because when I lived with a Chilean family, we had a nice lunch. It was like wholesome. But then dinner, it was the same as breakfast. It was like a repeat. Once.
Yeah.
It was like bread, cheese, ham, palta, mashed, like you said. And
maybe sometimes a jelly or a marmalade.
Yeah.
Tea, coffee.
No milk.
No milk.
No, I love milk in my tea and my coffee.
But let me ask you, coming from South Africa, is that not so different from there? Because I mean, I know England was a big part of South Africa. So do you not have tea time
We do,
in
but
South Africa?
tea time is not a meal. Tea time is
I
in
see.
between lunch and dinner, and it's maybe you're gonna have like tea with milk and sugar, as you please, and then a slice of cake. And then dinner time is like a full-on cooked meal.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, and that's strange for us in America because we're always taught like you can't have your cake until after all of the rest of the day's food. And your tea time is normally what, 4 p.m.?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Okay.
I would say so.
Yeah.
And dinner like 6, 7.
Well, and it's strange that we, here in Chile, a lot of our food has been influenced by Spain.
Right.
But we have tea time or onces at what, 7 p.m.?
Yeah.
Something like that. And in Spain, they don't begin until 10 p.m.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, it is a little strange.
It is.
It can leave you a little bit hungry late at night,
Yeah.
you know?
Have you lived with a Chilean family before?
I have. And the first time I sat down for onces, I was very surprised. I was like, whoa. Wait a minute. This is dinner? Like, because I'm used to, you know, dinner being meat, potatoes, a salad, vegetables, bread, rice, a dessert.
Yeah.
You know, and
you go to bed with a full belly.
Oh, just
yeah.
And
exactly. Stuffed.
No, here it was. But I remember I never will forget my first day because the first lunch was a huge lunch, and I thought, wow, I'm gonna get so fat. Because if my lunch is this big and I get dinner, and then dinner was just a little piece of bread and a cup of tea, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna get so fat. So yeah, actually, that was a bit of a surprise for me.
For sure.
Yeah.
And when I was living with a Chilean family, I lived there for about 6 months, and I did get fatter.
Yeah.
I picked up weight because of how often we ate bread.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Chileans love bread.
100%.
Lots of bread here. If you had to pick, what's your go-to on the bread? Are you a marraqueta or a ayuya?
If I could choose one bread, I would definitely choose pan amasado.
Okay, that's a whole other story. So for those of you, if you don't know what pan amasado is, basically like just a really fresh bread. It's cooked really fast. Yeah. It's kind of difficult to find in Santiago.
It is kind of, but it's cooked in with a lot of butter. That's what
it's a lot of batter, but it's just like slapped on the grill, like on a flat grill and cooked. Yeah, or in a what do you call it? A fire oven. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The only time I ever get pan amasado is when I go to the countryside.
I mean, everybody tells me you shouldn't be eating it every day because of the heavy batter. It's like quite fattening, but so that's probably why.
Well, that's probably why the old lady in the countryside that sells me my pan amasado is round, because she makes some amazing pan amasado. Yeah, it is good. And what about sopaipillas? That's another type of bread here.
I have only had sopaipillas like 3 times in my life. I don't know. My Chilean friends, for those of you who are out there, you guys are not educating me well enough in Chilean cuisine.
Because you need sopaipillas. You can top them, like you can make them sweet. Mm-hmm. You can make them spicy. Yeah. You can put pebre, which is like a pico de gallo. Pico de gallo, pebre. Mm-hmm. So good. But yeah, put pebre, but you can also make the sopaipilla sweet.
Like how? What do you
with put? Like butter and honey.
Oh, that's like kind of French. I'm a French German. German people do that on bread.
Well, speaking of sweets, a lot of our sweets and our desserts here in Chile. Yeah. Well, where do they come from? Germany. So Kuchen, are you a fan?
Love Kuchen de Nuez.
Kuchen de Nuez. Oh. So it's like, what would that be? Like nut cake?
That's
nut
like,
pie?
So actually, I think it's pecan nut pie. I feel
pecan nut?
Yeah.
Is that I think you just invented a new word.
I did no such thing.
I think you did because it's pecan or pecan, but I've never heard of pecan nut.
Pecan. Pecan.
But we don't have to say nut after it. It's just a
Pecan
pecan.
pie. No.
Pecan pie. We don't say pecan nut
Why do you
pie.
say pecan?
Pecan.
Where are you from? Pecan.
Pecan. Now you can say pecan.
No.
Yeah, it's like
that's
tomato,
not
tomato.
We can't even agree
Okay.
on our own language.
All
That's
right.
insane.
But I will agree with you. We have that in the United States. Something very
Okay,
similar
pecan.
around Thanksgiving.
Right.
It's a really popular dish.
Yeah.
Pecan
I like
pie.
it. Okay, so kuchen de nuez, but what other... I know that there's a lot of sausages, like...
Oh, no. Chilean food is definitely influenced by Germany.
100%.
Yeah. Bunch of sausages, bunch of cuts of meat. But I would say mostly in the desserts and breads. That's where the German influence, I think, I see the most.
Okay, so kuchen. What else?
I mean, there's Berlin. You know, you go into a donut shop and people they're like, no, Berlin. Like, so any of those cream-filled donuts, any of those pastries.
I didn't know that's German.
Most of those are German.
Berlin, the city.
There you go. So no, there's a lot. But like I said at the beginning, it depends on the region. So I don't want to stereotype any foods, and I don't want to generalize about Chilean food because it really is different from north to south.
Yeah.
But there are some things that I think are just, you have to try. If you're going to visit Chile, you have to try.
Absolutely.
Now, what are the things that you would avoid? I know that we've talked about prieta, which is blood sausage.
Yes.
You're not going to eat it.
I'm not.
Is there anything else in Chile that you've been like, it's not for me?
I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, but cuchifrito? It's like the seaweed thing.
Ah, no, cochayuyo.
Cochayuyo.
Hold on. Say it again. What, cuchi frito? I like that word. That was fun. That was fun. We're inventing new words here,
yes,
guys.
we are.
Yeah, no, that's cochayuyo.
Cochayuyo, yeah. It just like doesn't look appealing, doesn't smell fantastic. Like when I see it at the supermarket.
And it's apparently really good for you.
I can't. Well,
really. It's got like so many vitamins and minerals.
Fiber.
Yeah. Nice. You know, a lot of that cochayuyo we actually send to Japan.
I can imagine.
Japan eats a lot of it.
Like that general area. Yeah.
Like that's the main market for it. But
Well,
it is kind of weird. It's a strange texture, but I like the taste of
you've had it before.
Yeah.
Is it kind of fishy?
Not so much. It's more salty.
Okay.
Like it tastes like the ocean. Yeah, because it came from the ocean.
Fishy.
But not fishy. It's more like, I don't know, like salt watery and, you know, but once you cook it and make it into a soup and all that. Okay, so you refuse the cochayuyo.
No. And I think we've also spoken about this before. I don't want to eat the innards.
Right, like no intestines, no tripe.
No. But what about you?
See, I don't know that there's anything I won't eat. Because I think I've tried a lot, but one thing I don't like is the palo de cordero, sheep.
Palo, what is palo?
Palo is like, it's basically like a shank. So like they'll take the whole leg of the side of a sheep.
Oh yeah, I've had that before.
Roast the whole thing, and I don't know. It's like you were saying earlier, it's a little too gamey.
Yes, it is.
For me, so for me, it's not really my favorite.
No, not your cup of tea.
And they tend to bring it out on every holiday.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here's more cordero. I'm like, okay. It's not necessarily my favorite.
I remember I went to Fiestas Patrias, like asado, and the family, like the uncle was so proud of this big leg of lamb. He brought it out and showed all of us. And I feel like that's the worst thing you can do, because when you see the animal first before it's cooked, then it's like really hard to eat it.
Well, and for me, it's just the size of the cut of meat. It's just a little large, and it's a little strange that we're going to eat that whole thing.
For sure.
So, yeah. So what else, Brittany? Any other foods that kind of stand out to you?
I just think in general, and I think we've spoken about this, the style of cooking, the different spices used here, the lack of
spices.
It's just like that's what has stood out to me. Yeah. Quite a lot. Yeah.
And see, no, I would just say I'm gonna probably end talking about, I don't know, I don't think they're Chilean. I think they're actually from Argentina. But I think my favorite two, if I have to pick any foods, I have a sweet tooth. I'm all about the sweets. So for me, it's cuchufli. and alfajores.
Oh, alfajores are good.
So I don't take Chilean sea bass and I don't take charqui or anything back to the United States, but what I do take back are cuchufli and alfajores every time. Big bags. And I distribute them to my people. So that's how I share Chilean culture.
It's an easy thing.
It's an easy, and they're delicious.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And if you get hungry on the plane, then you've got your snacks. So.
I do feel like, what is a cuchiflito?
A cuchi.
That's the thing. This word is just coming back.
Okay, so you're confusing a cuchufli, which is the bar filled with manjar and chocolate, and cochayuyo, which is seaweed.
That's my problem, I think.
All right.
And I really find that, okay, so for example, you mentioned the
cuchuflito.
And that. And
she's inventing words now, guys. Cuchufli.
Cuchufli.
Uh-huh.
It's way too sweet for me. But it's not only that specific dessert. I find that things in Chile, desserts and sweets, are much sweeter here than what I'm used to. So for example, a carrot cake. Like here versus in South Africa, it's got way more sugar, or almost just like more of an artificial
But can you
flavoring.
really have too much sugar? I mean, let's be honest. Yeah. Well, and carrot cake, I mean, carrot cake is pretty universal. So
It is.
I wouldn't necessarily say that's Chilean cuisine.
No, it's not.
Kind of like the lemon cake from Starbucks.
Yes.
Like, not really Chilean.
Really? No.
Is it really?
On that note, I am famished.
I know. I'm hungry too. We've been talking about food this whole time.
Literally.
Yeah.
Want to go get a sandwich with me?
Maybe. Let's see. What? Churrasco?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
What are you?
Churrasco Italiano.
Yeah. For me, it would be the chacorero.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. Well, we thank you guys so much for watching today. If you're listening to this podcast, be sure to give it 5 stars wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're watching the YouTube version of this video, be sure to leave us a comment below and tell us all about your favorite Chilean food. We would love to hear from you. And be sure to tune in next time as Brittany and I will discuss all of our favorite places that we have traveled in Chile. Will your city make the list?
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Until the next time, from all of us at Dynamic English and here at Coffee with Gringos, we thank you. Take care.